Good morning. It is Thursday, 26th day of September 2019. My name is Derek. All bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Bitcoin dominance, which has obviously been in a major run since the April 1st breakout and has been making the obvious higher lows. And now the question in here is this one just that of a higher low? And well, as prices managed to get into this 18 average band now, which is declining, correctionary phase. This level of resistance is well matches this level of resistance in here, but more importantly, when at this level of support. But most importantly, the 18 highs and the 18 lows as you see it playing here. Okay, so we've established a resistance here at like this little level point in here. If you can see on the shorter term, 8 hour, 3 hour, 1 hour, 5 hour, 2 hour, 20 minutes, doesn't matter anything in the shorter levels. And you see in that you're seeing momentum really starting to get up towards this little area in here, then that gives you odds, or not odds, I don't like that word. It higher the probabilities for that to go higher, and you need to see it break above this level of resistance for resuming what has been, of course, that pattern of higher highs and higher lows. Since this level has been established in here, and it's been in this correctionary mode, basically the polar opposite's the exact same for breaking it to the downside. When you see the weakness breaking down below in here, then it's going to increase the probabilities it breaks below this. One of the things it could do is or move in like this manner as well, but breaking down below this is when you're starting to talk about, okay, fill in some of this empty space and then reverse slow trend. And then usually stuff like this, I'll do stuff like Fibonacci, but I'm really reluctant to do it on a mathematical set which is based on 0 to 100%. As far as Bitcoin is concerned, I'm definitely not reluctant to do it on all these price action ones. It's quite the opposite, actually. And we've had in here, this is the staying in this for a while and then the fast move. This reminds me of something here. How is this little bit tight? Come on, it's been doing this for so long. You either got to break out or break down, although it looks like it's breaking down. When's the last time I remembered that? Well, that would be last year. As that's what I was saying all the time. Now, a little bit different, a little bit longer, and so many other things. But as it was testing the support level so much, and then it had its quick move, and well, ultimately, what ended up, of course, going on. It was the support or one leg lower and then breaking it back higher. Will this be some sort of a repeat situation? If that's the case, then most likely we would end up seeing price come down to the 63, and that's what the bottom would be if it keeps on mirroring what that type of pattern would be. But more importantly, of course, as I've been stating, I feel very highly probable that if it does come down here, the chances that buyers would come in would be the result, obviously, but chances that the bottom would be in or near this level, then we'd have good price action moving forward from there, I think would be really good. And the two options are still in play that I've been talking about, just what I stated there, and then that failed breakdown. A failed move, as we basically stated in here, where you break down to key level, and then you just spend this little key time in here. This was a long spot of going sideways and move in that spot, but sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's normal or slow. This I guess you call it slow because sometimes you can just go down fast, one period pause, or even next period go up, but just one or two periods going down, then fast up again. That would be the faster variety, and I would definitely not predict the speed of it. No way, no how. But I'm not even predicting it's going to happen. I'm just saying that that's one of the two possibilities that I see as the charts are moving in this area. And for that, of course, to happen, you have to come back into this congestion area relatively quickly. But I mean, that wasn't relatively quickly down there, so that's exactly the whole point of it. And in a situation, if say you do have a resistance back up to this 9800 level, well, now it's that one of two situations. Are we doing that failed breakdown and then we're getting back into it, which means we're going to keep going higher? Or is it the first one I stated? Are we going in here? And sometimes when you get there, there's really it can go down a good leg and then maybe have a situation where you come back to where you came from, key Fibonacci points, and then do something like that. So those would be the one of two situations. And on the short-term time frame, we can see in here it's just paused yesterday, and it's even pausing further today. When I take a look at this even more, it is really interesting. Meaning, oh my goodness, it's like really unvolatile, not doing much at all. For I put these Fibonacci lines in, and when I go ahead and I take a look at this, say on a 15-minute term time frame, well, we'll get to that a little bit in a second. But first, this thing was getting choppy on this Fibonacci. It was Definitely, and now we had some better support here. It congested it at this first. Really, a lot of what you're trying to do, Fibonacci really can do two things well. I think it helps tell the story, and then it helps you with the orders. When it gets choppy, you have to adjust the message of the market because obviously this wasn't that great of a buy spot here compared to, of course, where this level was. But it's just hanging in there in that sideways range. But when you have like this type of down move, which is kind of normal and especially in the crypto space, and this is not because of crypto space. This is markets in general. When you have boom, doom, move like that, and then you have a big fast up move getting some of its losses like really fast and well, not higher volatility, but higher volatility from the norm. Well, that's normal, and in fact having just small volatility after that, which is what we're having here, is extremely unnormal. So what we've been having after this big move is extreme low volatility. And until it does something, it's just that. It's just a waiting game. On to altcoins, and it's another day. It's another 11,889 Satoshi. This is a new one. At least on Binance it is. Tezos. And it's against the Binance coin. But it's really new on the exchange. What's not as new is the Go chain. And this has been pretty fun lately and overall, even though it's been getting its ass kicked. As far as I got back in here in the this little start period in here. So I've seen it lose three times its value, maybe 2.x when you consider my entry get in prices. But with that being said, we have these nice little up and down moves. They're just great against doing on the ratio trading amongst so many other different coins. But it's having a lot of good short term volatility. Hour time frame, it had movements like this, back down. Movements above here, back down. And the length of these moves are like decent size when you consider 120 back down to 100, even it pierced below that, losing more than 20% of its value. And then you come up in here, well, let's see, this is even a bigger move, 96, really a 3x hit at like 130. That's better than 30 basis points or better than 30% in just one move, spanning around 3 days. And then the pull back here, the lower high, which was interesting because this lower high was really more of a failed breakout as a price action after establishing support. It didn't matter if it was here, 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 wherever, but just goes down. Okay, and where's your next move going to come, or how's it going to react to it? Well, here was that next move. And like many of them, and this is both bullish and bearish, you resist where you came from in that area. Well, that's normal. So on a bullish level, well, you would find support probably in here somewhere, or even at the 18 highs, or just or take some time to establish your new shorter resistance and then break stuff like that. But on a bearish level, it's where you see weakness on the 18. And where do we see evidence that the 18 is giving in from this rally point? Well, we come down here, it didn't support it. That was alarm bells right there. And then we have this previous level of key support, which we figure where are you going to go first break below it. It goes exactly where you should figure it was going to go to. And this is where the indications get strong. Because as it's coming down the support, you only have so much time. Just by looking at it, you can't tell if it's going to be, oh, it's going to be support, it's not going to be. I mean, you know if it is support and it gets back above the 18, that's a strong signal. That did not happen. But you see in this here, and when it gets here, you just knowing it's good probability you're finding support. It could just go like this, of course, like that. Of course, it didn't. But you know when you have these key levels that break, it's going to be a concise move to next level. So you resist the 18, but many periods have shown you this is happening. And then as it goes, you can see in here, as it's leaving the 18, this is basically telling you if you want to find like, oh, when's a good time to short a market? If you want to try to find strategical stops. Well, now that we went through after that, you see spots as it's going in and as it's breaking down. So those are a couple spot situations, areas for stop losses or where you want to think if it breaks above, you figure out spots in that area. And then you can see this is a profitable situation, and then the play's over. It hits this leg lower. And what has it done since this point now? Well, it's been able to find some levels of support. It flattened out this 18 and has not had any down momentum since the bottom. Every time it's had a good red candle, it hasn't went any further, which is here, here, and even here. We've established this level of support, and oh, all of this has happened. Nice little breakout. And this little move is 101 up to 112, so that's about 10%. Now, if you use this for, say, things like just trying to have selling above the 18 highs and only buying when it comes down below, and I scroll back a bit, how would this play out? When you just think of the basis. So I talked about the strategy yesterday and the day before. Actually,